The old tower PC in Naira Kaspar's bedroom hummed like a beehive, its fans a white noise blanket that muffled the sounds of the world she preferred to ignore. At 17, Naira was famous in exactly two places: the retro gaming forums, where she posted her pixel animations, and her parents' kitchen, where she appeared wordlessly for meals before retreating to her lair. At school, she was an optional background sprite, visible in yearbook photos only if you zoomed in. Nobody actively disliked Naira, they simply didn't notice her anymore. A vanishing trick she'd spent years perfecting after her tight circle of middle school friends shattered under the usual stresses of adolescence, hormones, and elective courses. Their names still floated across her mind like flickering dialogue boxes. Layla, Marcus, Jin. They'd once saved seats for her at lunch, traded in jokes, and tested her prototypes during rainy Saturdays. But those memories had calcified into a museum exhibit she visited only when self-pity demanded a field trip. Nowadays, Layla choreographed TikTok dances with a beaming posse. Marcus ran varsity track, and Jin had migrated to the debate team, all of them orbiting social systems Naira couldn't decode. She told herself it was fine. A gamer doesn't need spectators, only a screen and a goal. Tonight's goal glowed before her: Bit Realm, the side-scrolling adventure she'd been building since freshman year. Every asset was hand-drawn in 32 colors, from the lavender dusk gradient of the skylines to the animated shimmer on lakes bouncing at exactly 6 frames per second. No publisher had asked for it, no deadline loomed. Bit Realm was pure sanctuary. And Naira coded the gates taller each evening, making it harder for anything unpredictable, especially other people, to intrude. A Discord notification pinged. She sighed, expecting a bug report from the mod team she volunteered for, but the sender's handle, Lay Laser, made her flinch. Layla. They hadn't chatted in months. Hey, Naira, long time birthday hangout Saturday. We're renting the old roller rink. Yes, it still exists. Would love if you came. You can skate or just chill. RSVP? Naira dragged the message to a corner of the monitor as though it might contaminate her sprite. Roller rinks were for extroverts who trusted their balance and their friends to keep them upright. She typed a polite maybe and closed Discord before doubt could wedge a foot in the door. Thunder grumbled outside. The April storm had advanced unnoticed, rain tapping the window in 8-bit staccato. Naira saved her progress, stretched and hovered over the shutdown icon, but Bitrealm's viewport flickered, just once, like a wink revealing a line of text she hadn't coded. EMP_Athie equals only_cheat. Cute, she murmured. Maybe she'd typed it while half asleep last night. She deleted the line and hit compile. The build sputtered, console spitting red errors. EMP_Athie undefined. A second later, the room flashed white as lightning struck somewhere close, and every LED died. The computer, the desk lamp, even the digital clock. Neera's breath stopped with the hum. Then the monitor flared back to life, impossibly, though the house remained powerless. Pixelated light swept across her retinas, expanding until her bedroom dissolved. She felt neither falling nor lifting, only a pressureless slide, like gliding through a password prompt. When sensation returned, she stood barefoot on grass formed from tiny squares of emerald, each blade tiled and repeating. "Oh, no way," she whispered, voice echoing with an 8-bit reverb. "I got isekai'd into my own game." The sky overhead was a gradient she knew by RGB code, 6D54FF to Twata4, B040. The mountains jagged against it, their outlines crisp as if drawn by a mouse on a Wacom tablet. On screen, she'd programmed a minimalist HUD that told players their health, inventory, and quest objective. Now that interface hovered in her peripheral vision. At the top, blinking red, was the text she'd erased. Empathy is the only cheat code. Footsteps approached, soft, high-pitched, like a chiptune sample masquerading as a footstep. A small, winged creature flitted into view. A sprite, the default helper NPC she'd designed and never named. In the editor, it had looked like a neon dragonfly with big eyes. Here, it hovered at chest height, wings leaving contrails of glitter. "Welcome, player on Naira!" The voice was androgynous, syllables snapping to the rhythm of a MIDI xylophone. "Bitrealm is an emotional crisis. System stability requires the key of empathy. Your mission: listen, feel, connect." "I didn't program voice acting," Naira muttered. Your skepticism is valid. Proceed to the Village of Echoes to begin tutorial level. The sprite pointed a mitten-shaped hand down a dirt path that scrolled with parallax perfection, and it zipped away. Naira, equal parts terrified and exhilarated, followed. If this was a dream, it was at least rendered in her favorite art style. The Village of Echoes consisted of clone and paste cottages, painted in pastel palettes. Villagers roamed, each a simplified human with 3 animation frames: idle, walk, talk. As Naira approached, a farmer NPC raised his pitchfork. "Howdy, howdy," he said. Immediately, every other villager turned to her and repeated, "Howdy, howdy." The words overlapped, forming a wall of static. "Stop," she shouted. "Stop, stop," they echoed. A quest marker pulsed above the nearest roof. "Resolve the echo." Naira opened the inventory wheel out of habit, empty except for a grayed-out heartlight icon and the inscrutable line, "Challenge their viewpoint." She inhaled. "Okay, I get it. Reflection, mirror talk, empathy, trial 1. Speaking to the farmer, she said, "You're repeating me because you need me to listen first?" She clamped her mouth to prevent further echo. The farmer lowered his pitchfork, eyes pixel wide, but stayed silent. Nira continued, softer. "Maybe nobody listens to you. You want your own words, not mine," she gestured. "Tell me what you're worried about." A speech bubble popped above the farmer. "Scarecrows keep vanishing." "No one believes me." This time, the villager stayed quiet. She nodded. "That sounds frustrating. How about we look for clues together?" Heartlight unlocked, blinked from gray to pink. A warm semicircle of light spread from Naira's chest, dissolving the quest marker. Across the HUD+1 empathy shimmered. The sprite returned, applause in its pixel trail. Level cleared, empathy illuminates constraints. Next, Bridge of Discord. Naira's confidence ticked up like an internal coin counter. Maybe Layla, Marcus, and Jin would find this hilarious, a literal tutorial on listening. She shoved the thought aside and jogged toward level 2. Ahead, a wooden bridge spanned a river rendered in 2 shades of blue that scrolled opposite directions to simulate flow. 2 pixies, tiny humanoids with palette-swapped wings, argued mid-span, their speech bubbles overlapping in angry typography. One more crimson, tag reading flame. The other azure, tag reading frost. Quest marker, reconcile the pixies. Naira approached flame first. Speech bubble, frost flitted my hive, doesn't care about my larvae. She faced frost. Speech bubble, flame sparked, scorched my riverbank, killed my lilies. Classic blame loop. Naira recalled a counseling podcast she listened to while drawing sprites. Sounds like both of you lost something. You're hurt and want it acknowledged. New prompt. Choose action. Options, argue, ignore, validate. She selected validate. Heartlight pulsed and both pixies' expressions softened. "Losing your lilies must have felt awful," Nira told Frost. "And seeing your larvae at risk would scare anyone," she added to Flame. "Maybe we can rebuild parts of both homes?" She suggested using river stones to dam a small pond for lilies and using pond mud to seal the hive entrance. The pixies exchanged glances, color saturation rising as their hostility lowered. Together, they conjured a heart-shaped key, which floated to Naira, dissolving into her chest. Bridge solidified beneath her feet, the missing planks refilling with golden pixels. A HUD+1 empathy, total 2, Heartlight grew brighter. Sprite zipped in, well played. Compassion converts conflict into cooperation. Yeah. Naya tried to sound blasé, but a grin betrayed her. She'd never felt this immediate reward from conversation in real life. People were murkier than pixies. Sprite pointed skyward. Final level, Mirror Citadel faced the shadow avatar. The landscape scrolled to reveal a fortress built from reflective chrome blocks. Nair's 8-bit reflection tiled across its facade, each copy slightly asynchronous. She pushed open the gate, no boss music yet. Only heartbeats and corner notes. Inside a grand hall, torches flickered with 2-frame animation. At the far end stood her shadow avatar, Nira in negative colors. Skin indigo, hair snow white, eyes empty zeros. Above its head, "You can't connect. Failure is safer." Nira's HUD flashed a sword icon, but it stayed semi-transparent. She couldn't equip it. The only active command was talk. She swallowed. "Why are you here?" Shadow Nira's voice was her own, but pitched through static. "I maintain distance. I prevent humiliation." Thunderreel or Chipdune grumbled. Naira remembered Layla's invitation still sitting unanswered. She pictured Marcus waiting at the track finish line freshman year when she skipped his first meet, Jin messaging her project code suggestions she never replied to. Sudden shame pricked. I pushed them away first, Naira admitted aloud. I told myself they'd leave anyway. Shadow Naira loomed. They grew without you. They don't need you now. You will glitch their lives. Heartlight dimmed for the first time. Quest marker, show empathy to yourself. Nira inhaled until her pixeled chest expanded. I did what I knew. Hide and build walls of code. That coping kept me alive, but it also kept me lonely. I can forgive that version of me and still choose differently. She stepped closer to the shadow. You protected me, but I'm strong enough to risk connection. Come with me, not against me. Choice appeared. Reject shadow/integrate shadow. She selected integrate. Heartlight flared white, engulfing both Naira and her negative twin. When the glow receded, she stood alone, but footprints beside hers implied a merge. HUD +1 empathy. Total 3. Quest complete. The sprite descended in a triumphant chord. Empathy capacity maxed. Exiting bit realm. It tapped her forehead with a pixel wand. Screen fade out. Naira awoke, slumped against her desk. Monitor dark, power still absent. The storm had mellowed to drizzle. Her heart hammered, yet her cheeks were damp. Tears or rain, she wasn't sure. The bedroom light flickered back as the house power returned. Computer booted with its familiar BIOS chirp as if nothing extraordinary had happened. BitRealm's source code remained on screen. Scrolling to the bottom, Naira found new comments she hadn't typed. //questline complete. / remember players 2, 3, and 4 are waiting. A Discord ping followed. Lay laser again. Saw you type maybe earlier. Hope you can make it. Saturday. We miss you. Naira's fingers hovered. Fear rustled like static, but Heartlight, imaginary or not, still warmed her ribcage. She began to type. I'd love to come. Been hiding in my own side scroller too long. Need roller rink DLC. Can I bring an indie game demo for you guys to test? Layla's reply arrived almost instantly. Yes, the more Naira the better. Marcus and Jin will scream when they see you. Game demo equals mandatory. Naira exhaled, part laugh, part sob. For the first time, her room felt bigger than the monitor's borders. Saturday smelled of popcorn and skate wax. The roller rink's neon lights might as well have been RGB values she recognized. Hot pink PIF 2267, midnight 1B54. She clutched a flash drive labeled BitRealm V2 and scanned the crowd. Layla spotted her first, arms windmilling for balance on wheels. She nearly collided with Naira in a hug that almost toppled them both. You came! Marcus rolled up, track-toned and sweat-glazed. Jin followed, glasses fogging from exertion. For a microsecond, they all hovered, uncertain how to greet a friend who'd ghosted them. Naira's newfound muscle memory engaged. I'm sorry, she said before they could speak, for disappearing. I thought it was safer. It wasn't. Layla's smile softened. We worried. Figured you'd surface when ready. Marcus nudged her shoulder. You're here now. That's the save point. Jin adjusted his glasses. Are we beta testing tonight? Naira held up the flash drive. You bet. But there's one cheat code, and it's not infinite lives. Jin laughed. Don't tell me empathy. Exactly. Naira described the Village of Echoes, the Bridge of Discord, and Mirror Citadel while they laced roller skates. Her friends listened, not with the polite half-attention of acquaintances, but the sustained focus of allies who'd missed her story loop. When she finished, their reactions overlapped like joyous echoes. Leela wiped a tear. You coded wisdom into 8-bit. Marcus tapped the rink floor with a wheel. Maybe the track team needs Heartlight patches. Jin grinned. Let's sync up after finals. I can help refactor your dialogue engine into a branching empathy tree. The DJ dropped a synthwave remix of a Mario theme, light strobing. Nira let her friends tow her onto the floor. She wobbled, terrified, but they formed a protective triangle, fingers linked to steady her. Each lap felt like a side scroll, obstacles predictable, progress measured by repeating scenery. Yet the real magic wasn't the rink, but the unspoken code running among them. Loops of concern, laughter, shared balance. Later, at a party table sticky with frosting, Naira loaded BitRealm onto a projector. The pixel grass rustled across the wall, and the sprite opened with its trademark reading. This time, Naira watched her friends take the controller. Layla approached the farmer NPC, and instead of the usual text ring, she turned to Nira. What does he need? Ask him, Naira said. She didn't intervene further. Layla validated the farmer, Marcus negotiated with the pixies, Jin faced the shadow avatar with Naira offering hints only when requested. Each time Heartlight pulsed on screen, Naira felt it in her chest, as though some feedback channel bridged silicon and skin. When the end credits scrolled her name, theirs, and one line reading, "And you, player," her friends applauded. A handful of roller rink kids who drifted over joined the clapping, oblivious to who'd made the game, but recognizing the universal grammar of accomplishment. As the rink lights dimmed for closing, Layla nudged Naira. "Next weekend, my place. Game making jam. Theme, feeling stuff." Naira laughed. "I'm in. No fast travel needed." She packed her laptop, heart lighter than any cheat code could simulate. She knew setbacks would respawn, social glitches, self-doubt bosses, but she no longer believed solitude was invincibility. Empathy had patched the collision maps between her and the world, letting characters share the same plane instead of clipping through each other. Outside, the night air felt high definition. Raindrops from an earlier shower beaded on trash cans like sparkling pixels. Nero walked between Leela and Marcus, Jin just behind, their conversation looping but never stuck, each line triggering the next level of understanding. The world, she realized, was far from resolution perfect, but with friends' textures loaded beside hers and heartlight glowing in the HUD of her mind, she felt ready to press start on whatever came next.